a living. Crypto is on the rise, making that dough in the crypto paradigm. Watching it go, buying low, selling high. Riding the wave, I'm here to stay, living in the digital age. No banks, no fees, just decentralized. It's crypto paradise. Ooh. No banks, no fees, no more 9 to 5. What a way to make a living. Crypto is on the rise, making that dough in the crypto paradigm. Watching it go, buying low, selling high. Riding the wave, I'm here to stay, living in the digital age. No banks, no fees, just decentralized. It's crypto paradise. Ooh. No banks, no fees, no more 9 to 5. What a way to make a living. Crypto is on the rise, making that dough in the crypto paradigm. Watching it go.
All right, what's going on, our fellow degens around the world? It's your midweek market update. I'm Web3 Nate, that's the Crypto Hitman, and we have some breaking news for you guys right now. Kai Ken, the last Inu, our very own Crypto Paradise CTO, absolutely ripping today, melting faces. It all the way up about 1 minute ago was at 8 million. We're up, what is this today here now? Let's take a look. 200% today, like over almost 400% in the last week. You guys, keep in mind, we took this over. We did the CTO. We've been telling you about this for what? Oh, back all the way over here in August. So like,
we took this. We took the CTO over when it was 400,000 market cap on Kai Ken. We talked about Kai on every single Friday Shill and Chill Spaces. That's kind of a gap filler for us. And Ian has been doing almost daily spaces on their Twitter account. I pop over there when I can, and we've done content with Crypto Paradise. So from 400,000 market cap to 8 million market cap in just a couple months, and it looks like it's just getting started. Now, obviously, it's a massive green bar. Can there be volatility, some kind of pullback? Yes, but that is just good from a technical perspective to keep building up and to the right. Remember, Dogecoin is doing very well. Kai Ken is one of the last Inus. Shiba Inu is doing very well. Kai Ken is one of the last Inus. It will follow both. And Floki is one that I think goes and breaks all-time highs very soon. Why is that? That is because they have a Coinbase listing coming very soon. They have a snapshot for all holders of Floki will be earning the monkey token. So if Floki breaks all-time highs, Kai Ken is the last Inu. It will follow all the dog meme coins higher. So this is very good price action to see on the back of those all rallying. And with all those looking like they want to rally once again, I think Kai can continue to work itself higher and higher.
I mean, that's what we got us interested in the first place. Had a great community. We got to know the former team that they didn't rugged, but you know the token had dumped. They were kind of worn out and tired, needed some help. So we came in, we CTO'd. We brought in a whole new marketing boost. We've been showing this thing, he said, since 400K. It's at 8. It went to 8 million today. That's 20x since we came on. And a key thing to keep in mind in the meme game. The VCs typically get involved around a 10 million market cap. That's what starts to catch their attention, is when it gets around there, because it's finally big enough for them to come in and buy with size. There's enough liquidity there that they can get in on the action. Anything lower than that, and it's really hard for VCs that want to get any sort of reasonable position, more than a couple grand, to be able to come in and have those big whale buys. And now that's what we're going to be able to start seeing with Kai Ken. So 10 million is a major, major milestone for any meme coin. We are absolutely freaking stoked. Congrats to the Kai Ken community. You guys have been grinding it out. I mean, like he said, joining all the live the Twitter spaces that Ian's been hosting daily, and joining all of these spaces, getting in there and rating, chilling, and being the diamond handed loyal cult following. That's exactly what Murad and everybody in the CT space has been talking about. You gotta have that belief, and this is why patience pays off.
And some of the first big Kaiken posts that we made we did at Bitcoin Nashville 2024. Me and you were there. We went to a couple side events. We did some Kaiken recordings. I even was staying with my buddy who has a massive husky dog, and I said, "Hey, is this Kaiken or should we name it something else?" So we've been hinting and talking about Kaiken since those lows, and it's all starting to pay off now. 8 million market cap, somewhere around there, probably 7. We'll see. But expect some chop up here, some volatility, but things look good for it to continue up higher. I don't think the full campaign, if you see their Twitter, is over yet. They are trending on DEX tools. They're getting new private groups involved, new influencers and everything else. And now we're talking about here on Crypto Paradise once again.
Absolutely. 10K is a great milestone. 100K is the next milestone after that. So this thing's gonna keep sending. If you haven't aped yet, never too late. So go check it out. The last Inu, there's been tons of great Inu projects. You mentioned Floki and Shib, and obviously Doge. There's Kendu Inu. Like, all of these dog tokens, the narrative is super strong. They're pumping. Not too late to get on board. So wanted to get that out first and foremost. Again, a huge shout out and congrats to the Kai team. You guys are getting rewarded. So taking a look at the overall market today, Bitcoin 94, coming up on 95,000, another new all-time high. The market cap coming up on that very important $2 trillion mark there. What are your thoughts on Bitcoin right now, Nick?
When we were stalling around 90,000, I was hoping we would actually get a little bit of a sell-off down to around 85. The reason I wanted to sell off to 85 is that would reset some indicators and allow us to push even harder for Bitcoin. Now, these indicators don't really matter too much when you got Michael Saylor buying billions at a time. Michael Saylor also announced yesterday he wanted to raise another $2 billion. Today, he's already increasing that, saying he wants to raise $2.4 to $2.6 billion. Now, the way Michael Saylor is making this happen, if he raises $2.6 billion, that doesn't mean it's a $2.6 billion buy on Bitcoin. The way it works is he uses a portion of that $2.6 billion to pay off other investors, other debt, and then rolls the remaining into Bitcoin. What does that do? That pumps Bitcoin. That means his MicroStrategy stock pumps, and when the MicroStrategy stock pumps, that means he can raise another debt round, and the cycle continues. This is actually an infinite money glitch Michael Saylor has created here, as long as the Bitcoin market stays strong. Now, when does this house of cards break? Normally, you would say in 6 months to 12 months, this would be over. His house of cards will fall. MicroStrategy will head towards zero. But we do have Trump getting into office and wants the Bitcoin strategic reserve. We know some European countries are rumoring at strategic reserves. We know Microsoft is now having Michael Saylor on to discuss adding Bitcoin to their books. Remember, in 2025, companies can hold Bitcoin, and that counts as an asset on the books for publicly traded companies. You don't think there's big companies with big money that are waiting for that? I see Apple, Microsoft, and others all adding Bitcoin in 2025, Tesla included, adding more Bitcoin, SpaceX, Bored Inc. All these are going to add Bitcoin, and that, I think, leads us much, much higher in Bitcoin. And what I've been saying is this could be the longest bull market in history. This could be breaking the 4-year cycle for Bitcoin, just like we saw with gold. Once the gold ETF happened, we went on a 10-year bull market. Now, it's not going to be straight up into the right like we're used to, but this means less volatility to the downside, and we continue to grind up into the right for Bitcoin. What does this mean for altcoins? We'll have to wait and see.
Absolutely. And, more along those same lines, more evidence there. Hoth Therapeutics allocates $1 million to Bitcoin as a treasury asset. Again, continuing this trend of major companies adding Bitcoin to their books. We've already seen major institutions, like the BlackRock, et cetera, but now we're seeing the Microsofts, all these other big companies starting to come in and take their bite out of the Bitcoin share there. We've even, Andrew Tate already, also off the back of MicroStrategy, never one to miss a good news cycle, saying he's going to buy $1 million in Bitcoin every time Michael Saylor buys, right? He says, I can't match the amount, but every time that Michael Saylor buys, he's going to be buying as well. So it's we're starting to see also the Google trends for Bitcoin and crypto start to come alive again. This is
what's wild is you're seeing other companies. The difference between BlackRock and companies. So BlackRock, people say BlackRock owns all this. That's really on the basis for thousands of traditional market investors. So those investors can decide to sell whenever. But companies, they're buying it as a reserve. They're buying it as a long-term hold, kind of like Michael Saylor. Now, Michael Saylor is doing a never sell. I'm sure these companies will sell it if they need it. But you have Rumble. The CEO of Rumble just put out a poll. Rumble has a ton of money. It's trying to compete with Twitch and all that. They want to buy Bitcoin. It kind of fits their ethos. You have David Portnoy from Barstool Sports wanting to put Bitcoin on the books. He missed the buy around 45,000 or 50,000. Now he says he's not going to buy, but we all know the FOMO will kick in and he will buy for Barstool Sports at some point, and that's going to be a long-term hold. They want to put these on the books because in 2025, for tax purposes and evaluation purposes, Bitcoin counts on your books, gives your business a bigger value, and gives you tax benefits. That's why they want to do it. That's why they're going to do it. And it's kind of crazy to think that Bitcoin's sitting here at 94,000 before any of them have done it yet.
Yeah, we've been seeing the meme forever. Bitcoin at 30K, at 15K, at 20K in one booth. Nobody there to buy. Bitcoin at 100K, a line out the, down the block and around the corner. So they're starting to see that now. Businesses are coming first. Retail is going to be next. And that's what we're looking for in 2025 to see stuff start to absolutely just rip. Speaking of 2025, very well-known Bitcoin analyst here, Benjamin Cohen. You've probably seen him before if you've been around the crypto Twitter spaces at all. Benjamin talking about Bitcoin dominance falling in 2025. And I think people see something like this and they go, oh, Benjamin's bearish. Bitcoin dominance falling doesn't mean Bitcoin is going down. That simply means that some of that money is rotating into alts. Bitcoin can still pump while the dominance is going down. Now, is it going to pump as hard? Potentially, no. But that doesn't mean that Bitcoin is going down just because the Bitcoin dominance is. So a lot of people kind of conflate and confuse those things a little bit. I think it's important to understand some of these key terms as you come in and get more and more familiar with the crypto space and what's going on here. You need to have an understanding of what some of these basic technical aspects mean. Now, that being said, Ethereum is struggling a little bit. One of my favorite TA guys, Eric Crown Crypto Cave, he primarily does Bitcoin only TA, but he does look at some of the other major alts, primarily the top three, Bitcoin, ETH, and Solana. Tweeted this out today: ETH Bitcoin 6 month with no comment. As you can see, not looking great for Ethereum. What does that have to say about the overall market dominance for Bitcoin and alts in general? I don't know. I'd love to get your thoughts on this, Nick, because as we've seen, while Ethereum is not looking great, Solana is. Some of the other top alts are starting to move a little bit. Is this a case of, the Ethereum killers finally kicking in and doing the Ethereum killing? Is this just the market's lagging? Is this showing us that maybe Ben is not necessarily wrong, but maybe his prediction for Bitcoin dominance dropping in 2025 happens, after Q1, after Q2, later in the year? What are your thoughts on that?
So actually, Todd Butterfield, the owner of Wyckoff SMI, one of my business partners with Learn Crypto, he uses Wyckoff method. Obviously, he owns that method. And the target for the Bitcoin dominance has been long standing at 61 to 62.5%. Currently, we've hit 61% a couple times and got rejected. So he thinks that Bitcoin dominance is also stopping up here very soon. Maybe it has one more surge with this new $2 billion buy or some businesses coming on board. But he thinks Bitcoin dominance tops around 62.5%. That will lead to altcoin season. Now, I think right now why Ethereum is lagging is Ethereum right now has become kind of an institutional asset with these ETH ETFs, and they haven't taken off as much as Bitcoin. You don't have a Michael Saylor preaching it to businesses. And really, the retail that's in the market right now is OG retail or brand new retail. And they're not interested in Ethereum. They're chasing Solana meme coins. They're chasing Kaikens, Ethereum meme coins, but they're not actually putting money into ETH itself. And I think until we get the next fresh wave of retail or institutions say, okay, I got my fill of the Bitcoin ETF, we need to start ticking up some Ethereum ETF, that's going to remain the same. But Todd Butterfield and this gentleman think that is coming very soon. I hope it's coming soon because most of our portfolio and exposure and what we can offer at Crypto Paradise is in the altcoin sector. And when an Ethereum is strong, it makes it so much easier. Now, Solana being strong is helping us a little bit. We do have Dubcat and some other, and Quark and Trumpe over there. But nonetheless, I think altcoin season is coming and it's going to catch you off guard. Everybody is saying Ethereum is dead. And what happens when everybody is saying something is dead? It's about to moon. Everybody was saying Litecoin was dead at 45. It just mooned, almost went to $100 for the first time in years. So that is when you need to start looking at things. That's when you need to start taking positions and start taking advantage. Now, the tough thing for me to wrap my head around is when does Bitcoin dominance slow up? because, like I just said, and we made a big case for, I think a lot of these businesses are going to be dumping hundreds of millions of dollars into Bitcoin. They're not going to be putting into ETH. They're not going to be putting into altcoins. It's all going to be going to Bitcoin. So in order for altcoin season to really happen, I think it's going to be on the back of OGs taking profits on their Bitcoin positions and on the back of retail coming in. And they're not interested in Bitcoin in trying to make a 2x or 3x when Bitcoin goes to 200K or 300K. They need to make 5x's, 10x's, 20x's. Put it in perspective. What Kai just did in the past week would mean Bitcoin would have to go to $400,000. A 400% gain in Bitcoin is $400,000. Kai Ken did that in a week. That's the opportunity of altcoins and meme coins. That's what retail needs. If you have a $100, $1,000, $10,000 portfolio, yes, making 4x your money is great. But if you're looking to change your life and get financial freedom, it's not going to come with just a 100% Bitcoin portfolio. And I think a lot of new retail is going to be thinking the same way. That's what happened last cycle. And I think that's when we get the altcoin season finally. But this guy's predicting dominance to slow up. Todd's predicting dominance to slow up. It's hard for me to wrap my head around it because I know how many billions of dollars are coming just to Bitcoin in specific. But hopefully we get that narrative where Ethereum catches on fire. Ethereum is the Web3 internet, if you will. Ethereum is the next Microsoft Windows of blockchain. That's the narrative we need to get for these institutions to start piling into that ETH ETF.
Yeah, absolutely. You know, like you said, we've got old money and then a little bit of new money coming in here with these new retail guys. The new retail guys are chasing the memes. That's it. Like, that's why Solana's pumping right now. There's nothing really exciting happening on Ethereum. Pre-sale markets are dead. A lot of the pre-sale market is on Ethereum. It's on a BNB chain, kind of the big dinosaurs of our industry. So until we get some, a reason for excitement over there, we were probably, we're not going to see them start to run. I think when we kind of hit these marks with the, Bitcoin hitting the psychological barrier of, the 100K, we get when Trump actually takes office and we can see, right now he's making all these appointments and making all these statements about Bitcoin and the markets. It's, tax infrastructure and tariffs and all this kind of stuff. But until he gets inaugurated, that first day, that first week, when he actually comes in and starts to do stuff, that I think is kind of going to be another big boost, another big spur for this bull run when all this conjecture over what's going to be happening in crypto, the ink hits the paper, the rubber meets the road, and we actually get these laws, get these rulings in place, these people in power, and start to see the fruits of this election more than just kind of front running the hype that we're seeing right now. So I think that's probably going to be when we really start to see potential for alt season, because a lot of these big companies, a lot of these big institutions, even the big investors, until they know for sure that we're going to get clear regulations that's not going to be essentially illegal to be a crypto holder in America, until they know it's not going to, they're not going to get taxed to the nose or thrown in jail or, labeled as promoting unregistered securities. It's very difficult for them to want to come in and allocate to these funds and these startup projects, these other tokens outside of Bitcoin, when they don't know what is going to happen. So once Trump actually takes office on January 20th and his administration comes into power, all these great guys that we've been seeing, we're going to talk in a minute here about his new appointee for the Secretary of Commerce. But once they actually get into power and these rules start going into law, that's when the confidence for these investors will be at a stage where they can feel comfortable coming into these other asset classes, allocating money towards these funds that are investing in pre-sales, etc. And then I think we very likely do start to see that Bitcoin dominance come down. We see the pre-sale market go up, ETH and all the alts popping as well. Now, as far as a 10-year bull run, the really interesting case could be made for that, where we see the traditional cycle start to play out, where the Bitcoin dominance starts coming down, all the alt season and pre-sale start pumping again, and into Q1 sometime next summer, whenever that happens to be, that could be when the official announcement of a strategic Bitcoin reserve comes in. And then of course it's Bitcoin's off to the races again and we start all over. Then Bitcoin dominance goes back up for 6 months or a year, and then it goes into another alt season. And we get this cycle started where I 100% could see this super cycle, whether it's, it extended for a 2, 3, 4 year or even a 10-year like gold was. I can't even, none of us can really wrap our heads around what that would look like.
We'll go step by step. I just keep saying that because there's a couple things we've been saying on Crypto Paradise. I've been saying myself on Learn Crypto is 100,000 Bitcoin by the end of the year. Well, it looks like I'm damn correct on that. All I know is we're way closer to 100,000 than we were 20,000 when I said it. So there we go. Also, me and you specifically, obviously Ian agreed with us, but still was looking at the optimistic view if Kamala won. We kept saying Trump's going to win. This thing's going to explode. You need to be long, blah, blah, blah. Well, we're right. We're right. It's as simple as that. That's all it can be. So hopefully you had your positions. Hopefully you're tuning in. And before you move on to some of the Trump appointees, another thing about the altcoin season, Coinbase just announced its first ever index investment, kind of like a grayscale investment index, where it's looking at the top 10, top 20, top 100 coins. I'm not exactly sure where it's going to be weighted based on their market capitalization, and investors can just buy that index. So just like S&P 500 or the NASDAQ on traditional markets, now people can just come in, well, cool, I need more action than just Bitcoin or Ethereum, but I don't want to learn about all these alts. I don't want to have the risk of going to zero. I'm going to buy this index that has a basket of 10, 20, 100 alts in it, and we're going to hold that and see what that performs like. So I think that's another thing that could help stifle and build up an alt season, because A, that means some money's going to flow into all these assets outside of Bitcoin, but B, people will start seeing some tickers and people get antsy and people understand. They'll start seeing some tickers outperform. They'll start throwing money into various tickers that are listed on Coinbase that are within that index, which might help spur the next alt season as well.
Absolutely, and that would lead perfectly into the whole RWA narrative that everybody's been talking about. Something like that could be the catalyst that sends that sector of crypto absolutely astronomical. There's some pretty good RWA plays out there. Maybe we'll take a look at those next week at some potential RWA calls out there, but definitely a trend you want to be paying attention to there, along with, I know my kind of picks for this bull run in terms of alt sectors. Memes aren't going anywhere. But RWA is going to be huge. I think interoperability has a good chance of doing some interesting stuff. DPIN, gets mentioned a lot. What else? Probably, I think AI is going to be the biggest again. We're going to see another
AI will.
We
have NVIDIA's kind of cooled down, so the AI talk has stopped. But remember, Elon Musk has the biggest NVIDIA farm in the shortest amount of time for AI purposes. So I think if NVIDIA beats their earnings, they have earnings calls coming up, I think AI hype comes back into the crypto market. There's a lot of good deep in AI projects. The thing is, a lot of the AI projects in crypto are vaporware, but there is many AI projects that kind of are AI deep in that actually have products and produce revenue. And if they do well with that revenue, we love buybacks and burns, buybacks and LPs, buybacks and marketing, new team members. If you have actual revenue in the space during a bull market, you can absolutely explode things if you don't get greedy. So it's really going to be finding the team members who aren't greedy. They take their little bit of salary and all the extra revenue is being dumped back into the token, dumped back into the products and the users. And those are the things that absolutely moon during bull cycles.
Yeah, and then the traditional markets haven't slowed down on AI. I think we covered last week on the midweek market update. I can't remember the name of the company, a very well-known AI company, but they just raised another $270 million for their project. We're seeing these kind of stories left and right, 10, 50, 100, 200, plus $1 million coming into the traditional markets. A lot of that is also going to start spilling into crypto when, just like we said, when the regular, when Trump takes office and they can see, okay, America's going to be crypto friendly again, the risk is mitigated greatly for us to come in and get into some of these AI cryptos and
that's
yeah, go ahead.
And that's when the next wave of pre-sales come. Right now, pre-sales is dead. Look, launch pads are struggling because their terms aren't favorable anyways. Even private groups like TDI with Ferrum Network, not really looking to do raises because people understand, hey, we can get in Kaiken and CTOs and make money now. We don't have money locked up. But I'm telling you, there's an example. An AI company just raised millions of dollars in traditional finance. That is what traditional people want to do. And when the regulatory clarity comes for crypto or easy on-ramp happens, new pre-sales, another round of those is going to happen. What is it? In what form? I don't know. We've already seen ICOs if you were here in 2016, 2017. We saw IEOs in 2018. We saw Ferrum being very early in the pre-sale cycle leading into 2020, 2021, where all these launch pads popped up and Ferrum was kind of leading the way. What's going to be the new name? I don't know, but it's going to be early round investment in ideas, projects, and blockchain solutions. So don't be selling all your launchpad bags now. Hopefully you have Ferrum, because I think that's a low valuation. Obviously, they're looking to do a mainnet and equity raise, but that's still the access card to get into TDI for these pre-sales. I think there is going to be another pre-sale season. You don't want to be joining these pre-sales, 4 or 5 or 6 deep. You want to get on the first 1, 2, or 3 because that's going to be into the hype of the bull market. You're going to get a bulkier tokens. That's where you're going to get those 100Xs, just like we saw this last cycle with Dead Prez and some others. The early ones are where you made the 10X, the 20X, the 100X. The later ones, you're still making money, but you're looking at 2X or 3X. Now now you have opportunity cost. Should I have locked up those funds? You still made money, but you might have made more money just being in the market itself.
Well, that's another great thing about a lot of these AI projects that are launching is they're launching at like 95 to 100%, circulating supply, right? So those can be more difficult to get in on because there isn't necessarily a traditional IDO, but through groups like TDI, you can still get access to some of those pre-sales where you can have the opportunity to get in and have full unlock of your tokens on day one. So definitely, this is the time where it's 24/7, eyes peeled. You can't sleep on this market at all because things are going to be happening so fast. And got a few minutes left here. I actually got to call it early tonight. I got to hop on another call in a bit, but before we go, let's take a quick look here. This is another just bullish kind of dovetails off what we've been talking about in terms of new administration taking over. I think it was just yesterday, but Trump announced that Howard Lutnick is going to be named as the Commerce Secretary. Now, Howard Lutnick is the chairman and CEO of Cantor Fitzgerald, massive fund, and he himself, or through the fund, they own hundreds of millions of dollars in Bitcoin. So you can imagine having someone with a bag like that as the Commerce Secretary is nothing but absolutely bullish. He spoke at Trump's rallies. You can see him here speaking somewhere. He spoke at Bitcoin Nashville. He's saying that big banks, traditional finance, they're going to be the first people to dive into Bitcoin under better regulation, just like we've already been seeing with some of the funds, the ETFs, the companies coming on board. Banks are going to be one of the next ones here. So super bullish appointment among many bullish appointments coming from the Trump administration here.
Yeah, amazing to see. I guess if you had to hop off here, let's touch base on a couple other things. A couple of the projects that we've talked about on the Shill and Chills. Yeah, we'll talk about that because that's kind of funny. Dex Corp still up many multiples from our entry. Trump A still doing well. Dubcat still up many 10x from our entry, I think. And Pulse Chain. We've talked about Pulse Chain briefly. I've told you, hey guys, Pulse Chain is the place to be if Richard Hart comes back, if he wins this SEC case, which looks like he's going to do. If you're first getting on Pulse Chain, I think PTGC, UFO, and Alien are the best assets over there. They're going to outperform everything. Well, PTGC, new all-time high. UFO, new all-time high. And Alien up 25% today, all while paying passive income. So we continue to strike gold there. The most recent video was when I was on the beach in Punta Cana. Since then, PTGC is up 65%. UFO is up 75%, and Alien is up 45% while paying passive income. So keep tuning in. Start taking action. I know it takes a while for you guys to trust us and whatever. Start putting a small portion of your portfolio into these picks because right now I think we're damn near 100 for 100 on picks, and some of them are up. Like I said, 400%, 1,000%. Kaiken's up a massive number. I don't even know what the percentage is on that. So start following along, start winning, hit that follow button on Crypto Paradise, and we'll be here for the long term. This isn't a flash in the pan here. We're just getting started.
Absolutely, guys. If you're not liked and subscribed already, just because you missed these calls, don't get the FOMO. We've got plenty more coming just like that. As you mentioned, I just did the math today on some of our previous calls. Just in the last 3 months, on the Friday Shill and Chill alone, if you're not tuned into that, definitely check that out. It's at, I think, 14:30 UTC every single Friday. And we open it up to you guys. Bring us your best alpha, bring us your juiciest calls, bring us your highest conviction plays. And just from the last 2-3 months of doing that, we've had I think the smaller calls have been more recent. Like just last week we had Trumpy on. We went up 2.5x from when they came on. But the numbers are staggering. It's like 10x, 13x, 31x, 40 plus x. Like I was doing this video before Kai blew up to over 8 million. So that's another one that's in there in the high 20s from our calls. So guys, this is where you need to be. Now's the time. The bear market's over, right? Now's the time to turn on the notifications and get locked in because we're going to just continue to see the market absolutely ripping. And this is the time when, all the hard work you've done the last 3 years is going to start paying off. Just don't get caught up with the kid quants.
Right. And if you're in the markets, figure out what in your house you can sell. You can look back here. I've been digging out old game systems out of the back. I do a little bit of flipping. I'm looking to sell it so the bills can keep getting paid, trying to get some more money into the market so I can take advantage of some of these calls and opportunities as we're getting a lot of alpha. So you made a little joke there. If you want to go briefly over this tweet before you got to hop off, this is what happens in the markets. This is who is making money in the markets, and the market will troll you if you're a little arrogant. So be careful out there.
Yeah, absolutely. So for those who don't know, a 12-year-old kid launched a token called Quant and rugged it almost immediately, made himself 30K. He was happy. But the crypto Twitter is undefeated. They tracked him down. Not only did they dox him and his hot mom, but they proceeded to then pump the token to, I think this says 56. I saw another post that said over 70 some million, making his original $30,000 bag worth over $4 million. Now, the catch-22 there is, of course, it never would have pumped if he hadn't rugged it and sending it there. But, you know, so obviously what the kid did was wrong, but at the same time, after it pumped, how many people made way more than 30K when it pumped to 70 some million? So, you know, you got to look for the silver lining in all of these out there, but just be aware, this is the kind of market that we're dealing with. You got 12-year-olds sitting behind their computer at home, rugging people for tens of thousands of dollars. So be safe out there. Remember, as always, if it's not your keys, it's not your crypto. So stay safe-oo. Like, subscribe, and follow. Big shout out to Bybit for sponsoring the channel. We'll see you guys Friday for the Shill and Chill. We're out. Wag me, baby.